Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ian Witherspoon. I am your host, and I am between Taorminas. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're back in the new year. Boys, you look refreshed and renewed.
Yep.
Yes, I haven't looked this good since the Andy Miller days.
Well, we may have something to say about that name right there in a little bit. So boys, let's get to it. We got Lions to talk about in the first segment. We're going to do a little Big Ten Bowls talk, which, you know.
Madness.
Right. And then we have a special guest interview, which should be fun. So let's get it going with the Lions here. A little bit of a disappointment that they couldn't take care of business in Green Bay. Sam? Okay.
How would you allow? How can you allow 480 yards and 6 touchdowns to a backup quarterback? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I got no words for it.
I can't explain it because, like, I thought the Lions had this figured out. You know what I mean? Like, all they had to do was just win, and you avoid going to New Orleans.
Yep.
And now the Lions are going to. And the Lions have to go to New Orleans. Unbelievable.
Well, the Lions have played in New Orleans before. They played again. They went down there, even though they've lost. They've got a feel of New Orleans. They've got, and also don't get Sue did not play against the Saints.
Right.
And he's got. I think the Lions are better prepared to take down the Saints.
Prepared.
I think that they're more, it's going to really be a track meet.
And what Matt Flynn, the Lions let him. Matt Flynn. Aaron Rodgers back work better than Aaron Rodgers. But now you're gonna ask the same defense to go up against Drew Brees. This defense is in trouble. I mean, like, if you look at it, Drew Brees is a better quarterback than Matt Flynn. I mean, like, this could be a bloodbath. But I know that the Saints defense is not the greatest either. But it has shootout written all over it. But I just see New Orleans coming out on top in this game over the Lions.
Well, if you look at the scouting report, Sammy, in terms of the Packers, did they really have a chance to scout Matt Flynn? How many games has he played? 1. Okay.
This was his second start.
Matt Flynn only started 1 game before the Lions game, so that might not have been the best in terms of scouting him. And then also,
Green Bay rested Charles Woodson, Clay Matthews, and Aaron Rodgers. And James Starks. Greg Jennings. Okay, but you gotta win this game without those players playing, and they come out and lay an egg. They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
I think the Lions have a chance, as every other team does in the playoffs. In the playoffs, it's a whole new game.
They're in trouble.
Denver has no chance. I agree with you there. Yeah, they're going to get steamrolled by Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
They're in trouble.
And we'll be done with the Tim Tebow crap,
for at least a year.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at a couple things here. Back to the Lions, though. Louis Delmas is coming back. Okay. Haven't had him for a little while. Aaron Berry's coming back.
Still in trouble.
Haven't had him. You're in trouble.
They're still in trouble.
You got to look at a guy like Delmas, who is good with the pass and he helps on the run.
They're still in trouble because Drew Brees can pick them apart.
That he can. I'm trying to find some positive here.
New Orleans does have a well-oiled machine. They do. They're one of the best in terms of, as far as, like, they've got a running game in Darren Sproles, and then they got a wide receiver game as well. But I do feel that the Lions did not bring their best defense, as you said, with the injuries. And I think that we're probably going to see the true Lions defense on Saturday against New Orleans.
You're gonna have a full healthy team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be. Saints are all healthy too, though, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah. Oh no, Ingram's out for the season.
Well,
Ingram's out.
Chris
That's
Ivory,
huge.
they have Sproles, and they have Peter Thomas.
Yep, that's correct.
They can afford to lose Ingram.
Right. And you also look at this. You know, the Packers are such a great team and everything, right? They don't have a running game.
Right, but
Saints
if the
have
Lions,
as good of a passing game and a
if the
running game.
Lions do win, you know they got to go back to Lambeau.
Back to Lambeau.
Yep.
Yeah, so
But would you argue that the Saints are better than the Packers?
I would argue that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just said, they have a running game. They have a darn good running game.
Well, New Orleans is so well
especially in the dome. They put up some points. You know what I mean?
If they're on the road and the Saints are a different team on the road, that's a problem.
Yep.
But this is in New Orleans.
Tis. So what? We already got this guy. He's dismal. He doesn't think there's a chance.
No chance.
Do you think there's a chance for the Lions?
I think there's a chance. Every team's got a chance to do something special in the playoffs. The Lions and the Saints met before.
Yep.
I think that they can take each. I think that the Lions can get. It's hard to beat a team twice in 1 year, and I think the Lions can get the job done.
Do you think? What's the key to a victory there? You think it's going to be a track
The
meet type
defense
thing?
The defense has got to do extremely well, but I do think it's going to be a track meet.
You're going to have to outduel Drew Brees.
Yes.
In his dome. Doesn't look good, does it?
Does not look good at all. I mean, like, I know I've been on the Lions bandwagon all year, but this was the worst matchup they can get.
I would agree. Well, it's going to make for good TV tomorrow night. You know,
Yes, it will.
8 p.m. NBC.
Yep.
I'll be tuned in.
All right, Saturday.
Enough with Faith Hill.
Enough with Faith Hill. Is she doing the playoff song?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think she does a great job with the Sunday night football song.
I usually
God.
mute it and just watch her.
Why?
Because she's a babe.
I think it's a great song.
No.
You don't?
No.
You're not a Faith Hill fan?
Well,
You're like Celine Dion. Come on. Now.
yeah, thank you.
I think it's a great song. I think NBC
Hey.
got a great person to do the song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
We agree on something.
Oh.
I like the person saying it more.
We agree.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, when we come back, we're going to talk some Celine Dion and Faith Hill and who's better. You're watching Between Taorminas.
On ONTV.
Can ONTV really change the way you see Orion? Can a community hold a talent show to raise mental health awareness?
ONTV, a part of Orion's history since 1986. Video classes are now enrolling. Call 248-693-3377 to reserve your seat today. A service of Orion Neighborhood Television. This is you. And this is your community. You have a great idea. But how do you get that idea to your community? ONTV has your answer. You see, ONTV is a part of your community. We help you get your idea on cable, so everyone you know will learn about your great idea. So, what are you waiting for? Get your idea on cable and into your community. Get your idea on TV.
Welcome back to Between Taorminas here on Orion Neighborhood Television. Another year, another dismal bowl season for the Big Ten, eh?
At least better than last year.
3 wins.
Yeah. Let's talk about the most exciting win off the bat here, and that was the win of
The Outback
Michigan
Bowl.
over Virginia Tech. Whoops, just kidding.
Michigan
State over Georgia
and the Outback
in
Bowl.
Tampa.
Oh,
You loved it, didn't you?
oh, did I love it? I mean, like, it was a great atmosphere. You know, Georgia had a 16-0 lead at halftime. I mean, like, they were just whipping Michigan State. Michigan only had 47 total yards.
72.
Okay, thanks for that. But the
72.
But then Michigan State's got it going. You know what I mean? They got that big pick that set up the first score, and then like they got a pick six for a touchdown. You know, and then like It was like a it was a street fight and on.
Yep.
But
It was kind of you know, that game was kind of like encapsulated the Spartan season. You know?
absolutely.
Kind of like the second half team. You know what I mean? It really came on gangbusters.
Well, you look at Michigan State's season this year. They beat Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Ohio State at Ohio State.
No shit.
They beat Wisconsin. They went to the Big Ten championship game.
Played
Though
one
it was, they
heck of a
played
game.
a heck of a game despite a losing effort. Got screwed out of the BCS, but yet through all
What
that,
else is new?
they still won
Yep.
they still won their bowl games, and their seniors went out probably the winningest class.
They were the winningest class. This was the first win under Mark D'Antonio. But still, you got to look at the other side. You got to look at the other side for Georgia. I mean, like, Georgia's had a rough season. I mean, like, you know, they start off 0-2. They lost to Boise State. I mean, like, and then they lose to South Carolina, who just whooped Nebraska in the Capital One Bowl.
How good South Carolina is.
Oh yeah, and then but Big Ten this year was really disappointing. You know, Case Keenum scoring 5 touchdowns against Penn State. You know, and then Penn State,
State had the whole Paterno
of
scandal.
course, and then of course Ohio State. You know, the Urban Bowl, you call it, and the Gator Bowl. They lost to Florida, and then of course,
Scandal there too.
you know, you got Northwestern. They lost to Texas A&M.
Yeah. Well, you know, with the whole Penn State one is kind of that's a Conference USA team. You know what I mean? Losing like that.
Case Keenum.
Yeah, to Houston.
Houston is, you know, Conference USA, I think, is one of the more underrated conferences.
It is, but you'd like to think
really is.
it's not on par with the Big Ten. You'd like to think that.
Well, a lot of the knack against the Big Ten is scheduling. Look at who a lot of the Big Ten teams play,
In their
especially
first 4
earlier in
games.
the season.
Yeah.
They play non-conference opponents pretty particularly winnable games.
Right.
I don't think that some of the games that they play really necessarily test them
Not
as
at
much
all.
as they want to get that win.
Well, the reason why they book these games is for cream puff opponents. But then again, of course, cream puff opponents sometimes can backfire. Let's ask Michigan that same question when they lost to mighty Appalachian State in 2007. I mean, the cream puffs can go in and upset the Big Ten.
or
And
Michigan State losing to Central.
that was a bad loss right there. But still, that's a MAC school, you know.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, and also got Michigan losing to Toledo.
Holy Toledo.
Yeah. All those college schools get money from the bigger teams, and you know.
If you want to talk about scheduling though, moving forward with the Big Ten, their new little thing with the Pac-12,
Oh, yeah.
that should definitely help out the competition.
That'll help out, yes.
Next year, Michigan. It's the next 2 years. Michigan opens up with Alabama.
Yeah, they play Alabama next year.
They start off
No, next year they
in
play
Dallas.
Alabama
Is it
in
a
Dallas.
back-to-back though? 2012 and 2013.
I'm not sure,
It might be.
Might
I'm
be.
not positive.
Well, I'm not positive there either, but I know that next year's game is in Dallas, and it's going to be a very interesting game.
Right.
In Jerry's Palace, you call it. Jerry's Palace.
Who's Jerry?
Jerry Jones,
Who's Jerry Jones?
Didn't Jerry Jones
one of the Dallas
retire?
Cowboys.
Jerry Jones owns the team. He can't.
Can't be fired.
All right. So you also, you know, you want to look at scheduling and whatnot in the Big Ten. You kind of hope with Urban Meyer coming to the Big Ten that will help hopefully
Urban
Yep.
Meyer brings
strengthen
credibility.
competition. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It really brings credibility in terms of.
Yeah,
you
but
know,
I don't think you can fix Ohio State right away. You know, they're not
Ohio
going bowling
State's
this year.
not going to a bowl game, but I mean, I think that he's going to fix that team, and Ohio State's going to be competitive again.
Well, next year with Ohio State out, it gives MSU one more chance here to.
Well, next year, if you look at still, Michigan State's still going to be a good team. I think Nebraska will be better. I think Wisconsin will still be better. You know, like all these teams, you haven't heard the last of these teams. I'll tell you that much.
MSU just developed a consistent football program
I
that
think
they've
so.
been looking for.
And you got some role players coming back
Yes.
next year too, which is
I mean, that's the
very
biggest
important.
thing. Once they got players that have come back that are used to the system, and also some new guys that fit in the system,
Yep.
MSU's going to be fine.
Yep, I think so. Rosie will be happy about that. So, any final thoughts here on? You want to kind of put a cap on the bowl season?
Well, the Big Ten is bad. You know, like I'm sick of people bashing the Big Ten. You know, based on competition and schedule. I mean, like based on competition and scheduling. You know what? You know, Why don't you just crown? I mean, like people crown the SEC, but you know what? Give the other conferences a chance. Not like the SEC. I know they're the toughest conference. You know, they have the toughest teams, but give the other conferences a
They're in the bowl
chance.
game, they're in the championship.
In the same division.
I would, yes. I will just say the Big Ten. Last year, how many wins they got? 0 wins. This year they got 3. You can only go up from there.
Yep. That's a very, very good way of looking at it, I think. And when we come back, we're gonna help you feast your eyes on something very sexy, and that is in the form of a special guest. Stay tuned between Taorminas.
Did you know that you can watch ONTV on the web? How cool is that? Just surf on over to www.orionontv.org to watch your favorite on-TV show. A service of Orion Neighborhood Television.
Orion Neighborhood Television has been your community connection for the last 20 years. From local concerts and sports to resident-made original programming, we are the voice of Lake Orion. Featuring a large professional studio, ONTV can provide you with the tools you need to make a quality program. Our staff is knowledgeable, friendly, and eager to help with your program success. Your voice, your community, on TV.
Can ONTV really be a part of Orion's history? Can a 100-year-old school be moved and preserved?
ONTV, a part of Orion's history since 1986.
Oh, welcome back to our third segment of Between Taorminas. Boys, you ready to unveil a special guest?
I'm scared to ask.
All right, here he is, without further ado, Mr. Andy Miller. Yes, indeed.
I'm Andy Miller. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Andy, good to have you aboard.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, Mr. Former varsity football player.
Former
Mr.
varsity
38.
football player, Mr. 38. What
Yeah.
position did you play? Linebacker? or-
Bench warmer.
Oh,
Now you're
bench
running back.
Oh, okay.
You're running
Aren't you,
back.
aren't you? You were also a Special Olympic basketball player alongside us
Ah,
three.
Yeah,
This is a
I
good
followed
squad
out the game. Yeah.
05 and 06. Remember?
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
gold medals both times.
Yeah. Well,
was
too bad
good.
you weren't part of that because you fouled out.
Yeah.
I had to
That's
sit the
okay.
bench.
That's okay. So now you moved to Colorado.
Yes, yes, indeed.
You're a trader.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still Detroiter.
So what are you doing out in Colorado these days?
Well, you know, I'm driving a nice school bus, living the life out there in the mountains. You know.
Yeah. Bet it's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely
Any
wonderful.
favorite teams in Denver?
I'd like to call out. Well, I don't know if I got one out there really.
You sure? You know I like a team out there.
Yeah, I know you like the
that?
Avs.
Oh, the Avalanche.
Colorado
Who are they?
Avalanche.
What sport do they play?
The
You
girls,
know, you imbecile.
the
Well-
girl colors.
Andy, how do you feel about how is the atmosphere like in Colorado compared to like, you know, Michigan with the weather and all that?
Well,
You look cold, like you just came in from Colorado.
yeah, this is my parka jacket, just in case I got stuck in the mountains. I'm ready to go. You know, the atmosphere. We talking sports teams? We talking weather?
Like weather and sports, you
He's
know,
mostly talking more like air.
air, you know,
Oh,
the
air.
altitude.
You know, very hard to breathe. It's hard to get used to.
Do they have those things on their tires when you ride the? When you drive
Do
the-
you mean studs?
Yes.
Yes, there's studs out there.
There's studs.
Yeah, you can wear studs on your shoes.
Do they
and
have
on
cars in Colorado?
No, they're horse and buggy out there actually.
I didn't think they had cars.
Ooh.
Okay, so you drive like a horse bus for
Yeah.
the kids?
Yep. Big old carriage with the horses.
Now, what do you think about this whole Tim Tebow thing in Denver?
Oh, you know, he's inspiration to everybody out there. Everyone loves him.
How's that make you feel?
He's
Not good?
Kind of brings back. I'm not saying. I just think that as a football player, he's not great. But I think his
no, I
message-
agree. I agree with that, but
his
it's
message is pretty good. I will say that.
it's
He's got a really good
it's
message.
cool to see that he shouts out to the Lord. You know?
It is.
Well, like let's look at it from this perspective. I mean, like, Tim Tebow's first game, of course, against Miami. You know, he came back, won that, and then his home debut against the Lions. I mean, like.
You were at that game.
I was at that game, yes.
I mean, like, what were you thinking about? What were you thinking about when you saw Tim Tebow just laying down on the ground like that?
I was glad that the Lions won that game. It was a very good game. Fans were getting a little rowdy with Detroiters. You know, Denver hates Detroit. I won't lie about that.
A lot of people with the hockey rivalry, of course, with Detroit, Colorado.
It's,
Good points. Good point.
And when we went to the Tigers game this summer against the Rockies, there was actually probably more Tigers fans than there was Rockies fans.
I don't know about that. But
I would
it was
actually
pretty close.
agree with Andy on that, because if you look at there's actually a lot of people, honestly, who do like Detroit in the in Colorado. I mean, when you watch Red Wing and Avalanche games, you know, you've got a lot of Red Wing fans that go down to the Pepsi Center.
A lot of East Coast is going out to West. East Coast is heading out.
I would, you know, I mean, it started with the Dodgers and the Giants in baseball. Now you've got, you know.
Yeah.
Now it's just running rampant out there.
Mm-hmm.
So are you like Anthony, a big
Avalanche
fan now?
No, I hate Av. I don't like Patrick Wall.
Patrick Waugh, he retired.
Yeah, I know, but ever since then, and Joe
I thought his
Sakic.
last name was Roy. Is it Roy?
No, why, you imbecile?
Oh, it says R-O-Y.
You want me to throw your hat in a minute?
Not in a minute.
I should.
I'm all right. So any other updates from Colorado? You got any exciting stories for us from the West? Or?
Not as I can remember right now. Maybe later on.
I will say though, you look great.
You like the beard look?
I think you just, you know, I mean, you just look great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You two
You
boys.
look like a true. You look like a true. Like you look like. I'm gonna be
Wolverine?
honest. Yeah, you look like a Wolverine. No offense to people in Ann Arbor, but you know, you look like a real. You look like a real sportsman.
Mountain man, huh?
Yes.
What goes with the jacket?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Almost exactly like how I write about you in my books.
It's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Those books are
Cowboy.
makes my smart level go up when I read those books.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
I can't even read them; they're so smart for me. It's my problem.
So you can ask questions, though, can't you? I believe you have a question to
Yeah.
ask the boys.
The question is, so Caseville, I haven't been up there in a long time. It's been at least 4 years now, and I was just wondering how. Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah. 4 years. Yeah.
Just wondering how it's been up there. What's the atmosphere like nowadays? How's the mayor's house doing? Is there still some craziness going on over there?
No, not anymore.
Oh, not
I mean,
anymore.
like, well, like, you know, I've been up there a lot. I mean, like, it's like.
Who's winning the championship, by the way, too?
Well, Ant's been in the championship game.
Oh.
That's
in putt-putt, by
to
the
be
way.
honest with you, Caseville has changed a little bit because, like, you've seen, like, you know, because, like, there's been a lot of things that have, there's, like, you know, it's basically, you know, like, I know the cabin's been redone. The house has been redone. I mean, like, everything's changed. I mean, like, you know, it's more of, like, I mean, like, it can be quiet, you know, but sometimes it can be.
I think that there's been a couple things that have changed since you last went up there.
Now, do you guys stay in the house still, or you stay down at the cabin?
Right. Well, we have the house right now.
You have the
but,
house, okay.
We have.
Nice.
Stepping it up a little bit.
But you know that old putt place in Caseville?
Yeah, the orange course.
It changed.
It
It's now
changed.
called Key North Golf Course.
Is it still orange?
It's a little bit hard.
No.
It's a little bit harder than the actual.
You remember orange course was the biggest ones where we had hole-in-ones all the time.
Yeah, they changed the whole thing around
It's
because
still there in
now.
Port Austin, though.
Oh, it is.
And you got Sandy Dunes, of course, the
Sandy
home
Dunes,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, my home. Yeah.
You remember Sandy Dunes very
Yeah.
well. I don't think Ian wants to remember that. You've had better success than he has.
Yeah, I was not bad at Sandy
No,
Dunes.
I mean-
Hey,
But-
hey, you guys can play putt-putt, but who rode the best horse?
That's
Probably me.
scary.
Huh?
But back on my question.
Are you talking about riding the tube here?
Oh, the horse. Remember on horseback riding?
Yes, you did.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
I don't remember the horses.
Back to your point, Ann.
But I mean, as far as like, you know, obviously some of the people are different there.
You guys still have the jet ski and stuff?
Oh yes, the jet ski's still there. The boat's still there. I mean,
Nice.
it's You know,
Have you flipped the jet
not
ski
much
anytime
has
soon?
changed.
No, have not.
Remember when you did that
Not
before?
much has changed, but
Not much.
there's things that have changed.
Oh, okay.
When's the last time you guys been tubing?
Last time was when you were up there.
Yeah.
Still
the
got
last-
that 3-seater?
3-seater, you remember that?
Yeah,
Whoopie,
but-
whoop.
Oh,
The
yeah.
middle person getting jumped.
God.
You know what was great? And we should probably close on this. I was between Taorminas before between Taorminas was ever between Taorminas.
That is very true.
On the tube. I sat in the middle, and you guys were on the ends. 3-person tube. Remember that?
My favorite moment was basically
Anything?
my moment was like with you know, Andy, another guy, and myself. And we're all spotting. And I was spotting
Yeah.
with my uncle.
I remember that.
What happened was instead of the guys going in, the spotter ends up going in the water.
Oh,
That was hilarious.
A little bit of irony there, huh?
Yeah.
It was
Wow.
funny.
Well, any final words for Andy Miller here today?
I'm so glad that you're here.
Well,
know,
thank
I
you
mean,
Welcome
I
home.
haven't seen you.
Thanks you.
Welcome home.
I haven't seen you in forever, and you still look great.
Thanks.
Maybe can we get a hug here to close it out today? Thank you so much for watching. This has been Between Taorminas, a presentation of Orion Neighborhood Television.
We don't bite, Sam.